In this video, it's time to say goodbye to the Golf, and April comes early. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's almost the end of March, and despite all the panic and lockdown and quarantine and all that stuff, I'm carrying on with my 12 months, 12 cars journey. Given it's the end of the month, it's time to say goodbye to the Golf. Unlike with the Focus or the Rover, there hasn't been that much in the way of actual repairs for this car. It was more just a case of making it a little bit less disgusting to look at or to be seen in. Let's take a look back and see what it looked like when it got here. Okay, so here we go then. As you can see, it's probably not the most mint condition example that you'll find around. A little bit of damage to the bumper there. Front wings have obviously been filled in the past to get rid of some rust. A little bit more rust kicking about. They all do that, of course. Interesting attachment of the side trim there. Looks factory fresh to me. They haven't even bothered with the trim on this bit. Nice bit of surface rust in the arch. And on the other wing as well. So yeah, hardly a concourse example. And I'm pretty sure that's not the factory way to keep the window up. So I'm guessing that, like all of these do at some point, the electric window was broken. And now, after all the polishing, window fixing and general tidying, let's have a look at what it looks like now. As you can see, it's absolutely transformed. I mean, it's still a little bit of a 5-footer. If you look up close, you can tell that it's a 24-year-old car that's not been looked after particularly well. But I'm really quite proud of how it's turned out. It's a lot cleaner, a lot tidier, shinier. I think the wheel arch trims and the new black rubbing strips do quite a good job of hiding the rust and the problems, if nothing else. I mean, this hasn't been a restoration job, and yeah, as you can tell by the still rattle can, the slightly wrong colour and definitely the wrong finish wing. But I don't think you can argue with the results. It should definitely give it a bit of a stay of execution. I definitely think what we have now is an honest old car. Will get you from A to B, probably survive the upcoming apocalypse, given that it's fairly simple to maintain and run. As long as you can actually get a hold of diesel. If people start panic buying diesel, we might be in trouble, but I definitely think it's a decent old banger. Let's see, it is still a bit rusty in the arches and stuff. I've treated the rust before sticking the trim on top. But there was no repairs done, no welding, no cutting out any dodgy metal or anything like that. So chances are it'll only see another couple of MOTs, but given generally how rough and unkept it is, I think that's all you can really ask for it. You know, it's extended the life a little bit. Let's have a look inside, because I've cleaned it up a little bit. Nowhere near as transformed as the Fox was in the cleaning video for that, if you want to check that out. But it's certainly a bit tidier given a hoover, and I've managed to source a replacement parcel shelf as well, which makes it a bit more pleasant. So as you can see, we've removed a lot of the vegetation from the interior. It's generally a little bit nicer place to be now. Not perfect, but it's alright. And we have a parcel shelf, which is the wrong colour for this interior, because it was the only one I could find on eBay. But not too bad, I don't think. And of course, we have stickers. If anybody wants a sticker, drop me an email. I'll sort you out. No charge at the moment. That might change in the future, so grab one now while you can. So that's the end of the journey with the Golf. I'm quite glad I've managed to tidy this one up and make it a little bit more fit for the road, and hopefully it'll go on to help someone out. Its new owner should be collecting it within the next couple of days. His car's just died on him and he needs transport, and I can't think of anything better if you just need something to get you around than this. No, it's not going to set the world on fire, and maybe that's why people dislike the Mark III Golf so much, because it is just competent. It's just a car, It just does what it does, gets you from A to B, doesn't make too much of a fuss about it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think it deserves the level of derision that it gets. And I am hoping that this one is going to go on at least for a bit longer. It's got a couple of months MOT left, so it'll definitely get him around for that long, and I'm sure it'll go through at least one more, I think, before the rust gets too bad. Certainly it starts, stops and steers well enough. I never did look into the intermittent limp mode issue, because to be honest, it drives absolutely fine. Even when it does enter limp mode, it's not like it's a more modern car where the power is completely crippled. It's just sort of more reluctant to use the turbo and stuff, so it's certainly still adequate power-wise. Probably no slower than a 1.4 petrol Golf, even when it's in limp mode, to be honest with you, because the 1.9 TDI that's in this is actually quite sprightly when everything's working as it should. So yeah, I think it'll make a great run around. It's going to get someone out of trouble, and I'm pretty happy with that. So there's the Golf. But since everyone's a bit miserable at the moment, given we're all, locked down, the pubs are shut, all that stuff, I thought I would try and cheer you up by introducing April's car early. Now, I said it was yellow, and I said it was a soft top. You guess what it is yet? Well, it had one owner from new and was £200 and still has a little bit of MOT. No further forward? Alright, let's have a look. And it is, of course, a Renault Megane Cabriolet. What else would it possibly be if I was to tell you to go and buy an unloved £200 convertible that was just about road legal and in a rather fetching yellow? It would have to be a Mark I Megane convertible. Let's have a look. So under these lights, doesn't actually look too bad. As we'll see in a minute, there's quite a lot of lacquer peel and stuff. Got some aftermarket wheels, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'll be looking to change those back to the original Renault wheels. Not quite sure what's going on with the rear suspension, but it's definitely got some stance going on. We've got a big difference between the ride height between the rear and the front. So that's definitely going to need looking at. But, it's all here. There's a fair bit of the lacquer missing, but it's all here. It's all present and correct. When was the last time you saw one of these as well? Getting pretty rare these days, I would reckon. And they've been a lot less desirable than they deserve to be for quite a long time now. But I couldn't tell you when I last saw one, so I jumped at the chance of this when I got offered it. Let's have a look inside. There's something wrong with this door. It's definitely not aligned properly in it. I don't know what that's about, but you can tell there's something going on with the alignment of the door. It's just not right. It just doesn't want to close. You've got to slam it to close it. I'm guessing something's not quite aligned properly at the front here. If anybody knows what might be up with this door, please let me know in the comments. It's one of the various things I need to fix. Inside, it's fairly well worn. It's done 121,000 miles. And the steering wheel, it's definitely showing every one of them. But the seats aren't in too bad condition. The handle's missing for folding the seat forward, but apart from that, they're not in bad condition. Lovely, sporty cloth interior, exactly what you'd expect to find in a convertible. But yeah, they're not too bad. The roof needs a really good clean. And of course, the roof doesn't work. So as you can see, 121,000 on the clock. And I think she could do with a new auxiliary belt. Certainly gives off a squeal when it's stone cold, but that does seem to go away. By the time it was delivered to me, it had calmed down a bit, but I think we'll need to fit a new belt. But otherwise, engine-wise, seems pretty healthy. I think it needs a new thermostat though. The guy that drove it to me from London noted that whilst it would get towards its normal operating temperature sitting in traffic, as soon as you got on the motorway it would actually start cooling down again. So I'm guessing the thermostat's stuck open, but that's not a big job really. So there we go then, April's car, the £200 one owner from new Renault Megane Cabriolet. And yeah, it's got quite a big list of stuff that needs fixing. We're going to have to get torn into that rear suspension. I'm probably going to have to actually get underneath it, check the brakes, check the rest of the suspension, see what's going on, and try and make a bit of a shopping list and see exactly what we need to deal with here. Then I'll need to try and get that roof working, and that could be a bit of a mission. Certainly, if anybody knows anything about these cars and the common faults with them, and how to repair the roof mechanism, any of that stuff, please let me know. If you know where I can get a hold of original Renault workshop manuals, anything like that, please let me know. If you've got any spare parts for a Cabriolet, please let me know, because a lot of the stuff seems to be quite rare and quite hard to get a hold of these days. I'm guessing that as the numbers of these have dwindled, the want to sort of keep a hold of parts and keep them going has dwindled as well. Still plenty of parts around for the sort of standard hatchback Megane Mark 1. So a lot of the running gear, a lot of that stuff, even I'd imagine the suspension and stuff, should be fairly easy to get a hold of. But some of the more obscure stuff looks like it's actually starting to get quite hard. So if you've got one of these that you're breaking for parts, if you've got some parts lying about in the shed because you used to have one of these, please let me know. But all in all, I'm actually quite pleased with this. I mean, it's £200, it runs and drives. I mean, that rear suspension, given it's completely slammed, is absolutely rock hard. So it's not the most pleasant thing in the world to drive. But a running, driving, sort of convertible because the roof doesn't work, for 200 quid, yeah, I'll take that. Okay, it's not much to look at, but whilst I'm not going to be able to respray the peeling panels and all that stuff because we don't have an unlimited budget here, I certainly think I'll be able to make them look a bit better. I mean, a deep clean just to remove a lot of the heavily ingrained dirt from the paint, and then a bit of a polish and wax. It will definitely look a lot more presentable than it currently does. Let me know what you think. I mean, you might think, oh, that's absolutely disgusting, why did you buy that? Cool, still let me know. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think and what you're looking forward to see with this. And if you think you can help out in any way, please do let me know. Because I think this one's going to be a little bit more of a project than some of the others so far. But I think it's doable for sure. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button so you keep up to date with each stage of the journey. Because I think there's going to be some real good content with this Megane. Some of it, you know, it might not all go as expected either, so there might be some heartache with this one as well. But keep watching, like and share this video, and get as many people interested in this as possible. The more you're watching, the more motivation I have to keep going, and I'm sure we can turn this into at least slightly more desirable car than it currently is. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.